Alright, welcome to part 27 of the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword playthrough. We are officially halfway through the game. Yeah, let's go halfway through the game, baby. Yeah. Oh my god. Why are we still here? Some people may have turned the game off by now. I have thought about it in the last, I don't know, couple months now, but the more I play the new games, I like a lot of the games have a great start, and then hour 2 begins, and I'm like, okay, I get it now. Like, man, this is so dull. Yeah, it's kind of an odd thing, but I guess it's just how it naturally goes. Like a lot of games just start to lose their luster, like after World 2 or at World 2, Hour 2, whatever, you know? Like, games start to fall apart with their own philosophy, starting with World 2. Like, yeah, new Super Mario Bros. Wii. Man, that's a fun game. Desert World. Fuck.
Yeah, that's a fun game for, like, one world.
Yeah. A lot of games are like that, and that's probably why a lot of people don't stick around with the same game, because they figured like the first world's comfortable, then the formula, you know, it's rinse and repeat thing, and they start getting a little more challenging, and they're like, yeah, no, this isn't for me. I'm just doing it again, but now I'm game overing all the time.
It's like we're bad at video games. Like,
oh man, yeah, I like sometimes it's a skill issue. But you know, it's other times, like, at least I'd hope game developers would at least take that note into action. Like, realize that, you know, a lot of the majesty of the game starts to wane after hour 2. So like, if you can develop something good enough to like make players want to come back for more, and you know, just have more majesty lasts more than 2 hours. You know, I think that's some of the signs of a good game.
or if you're a roguelike, your run only lasts for like an hour. So.
Oh yeah. 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 Since we're here about it, and you just mentioned it, I don't think I've ever played a roguelike. I've played some games with roguelike elements, but I don't know how exactly a roguelike works. So, would you please educate me?
I mean, I don't really know. Probably like if there's like specific stuff that I'm like missing about roguelikes, but like generally those kinds of games, it's that kind of thing where like you play the game for a bit and like you intentionally don't either have a whole lot to do or you're just like bad at the game pretty much, and so you'll inevitably die, and then you'll be better or have like better items in y'all like your upcoming runs pretty much, and you progressively get farther and farther into the game.
So like you play for the first time, you kind of get a soft understanding, then you die, then you start back at the beginning again.
You play for a bit, and like you kind of like you're figuring stuff out, or like I said, maybe you don't have any like good items to like get very far and stuff like that. So then you'll die and you'll restart back at the beginning, but it's like now you have better knowledge to get through the game, or you might have collected like better items and stuff that carry on in the next run.
Oh, so you carry the items and stuff that, okay.
Yeah, you unlock better items to get farther in the game on your next runs.
Okay, yeah.
Unless you're really good at the game and you can beat the game on your first run.
Okay, that's sort of the... Okay. So, I don't know if Dead Rising applies to that. Is Dead Rising a roguelike? I don't know. Because I have played a game similar to that. It is Dead Rising. I don't... The game's been re-released, but on the original 360 hardware, like, you only had the one save file. It might have been done just because of the one save file thing. I know re-releases give you more than one save file, besides the point. Every time you die in Dead Rising, you have the option to restart from the beginning of the game with all the XP you collected, or just restart from your last save point. So, like, yeah, if you decide you want to go back to the beginning, all the XP that you gained carries over into the next run, then you can get better at the game, you know? So, yeah, that's right, right?
I mean, that kind of sounds correct. I mean, I don't really know too much about Dead Rising, so.
That's basically how I first played it. Like, I didn't know exactly what it was, and then I got confused why it sent me to the beginning of the game, but like, oh, I'm suddenly at level 4 now. Oh, I get it. It's because I died at level 4, and now I can get more XP, and I can keep stacking up. Ah, cool. I'm never doing that again. I'm playing this game on New Game Plus every time.
Okay, I just looked up roguelike and stuff. Roguelike is a subgenre of role-playing games traditionally characterized by a dungeon crawl through procedurally generated levels, turn-based gameplay, grid-based movement, and permanent death of the player character. So just that kind of, I mean, like some roguelike games don't have that type of.
Yeah.
I assume you're talking about like top-down kinds of games, but generally, yeah, like you have like permanent death, like you die and you start over with like better stuff, and you like usually the levels are procedurally generated, so it's unique every time.
Yeah, so okay.
That would be stuff like Binding of Isaac and Dead Cells and whatever.
Yeah, because I have then yeah, like I said at the beginning of this, like I played games with roguelike elements, just not a full-on roguelike. So yeah, Dead Rising with the permadeath thing, that's a roguelike element, but the game itself,
that's kind of an element of a roguelike, but not exactly a roguelike.
Okay, so yeah, and then the procedurally generated pathways. Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually something in roguelikes too. Yeah, like you'll play the game and you'll die and you'll restart back at the beginning, but like maybe the level layout will be a bit different, or you'll spawn in a different starting area.
Gotcha. Kinda, sorta. Resident Evil 3, the original one, not the remake. Remake is it's not exactly doo-doo. It's kind of doo-doo though. Original Resident Evil 3, basically, it had these branching pathways, and basically different events would play out depending on whether, like, if you visit the if you visit the diner first versus visiting the newspaper place first, stuff like that. Different events would play out. Like if you visited the diner first, and Nemesis would chase you basically throughout the entire city. But if you decide to visit the newspaper place first, Nemesis won't chase you until much later, like almost when you're finished. So, that's an element. That's not exactly...
Yeah.
That's not exactly the procedurally generated pathway. But it's different. You could have a different playthrough every time.
Yeah.
So, that's cool. Yeah. There are the elements, maybe, like... Although... See, I just brought up examples of, like, old games. I know Dead Rising's not old. RE3 is, like, old.
Yeah, I mean, you typically play, like, older games anyway. But
yeah.
That's what a lot of your playthroughs have been anyway. They've either been old games or remasters of old games.
Oh, man. Oh... Give me Resident Evil 4 remake now. The video's gonna be long out after the remake is, but I don't care. We're recording it before then. Anyways, I just mentioned old games, but I think roguelike is a relatively new genre of game, right?
It feels like it's a bit more recent, yeah. Like, I mean, I definitely... The roguelike is definitely a game type you see fairly often nowadays, because there's tons of games that do stuff like that. Enter the Gungeon, Hades, stuff like that, because like Hades is a roguelike and stuff.
Right. It's more so in the indie thing. I don't think we've ever seen...
Yeah, roguelikes are typically indie games.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a AAA one. But, like... What I just mentioned two AAA games, but they're from like the old era, and probably those were probably like the originating ideas, most likely, and then just the indie crowd just took them into their own games and fleshed them out into making the hardest things ever.
Yeah, roguelikes are typically pretty difficult games too, which I mean that's kind of the point. Like I said, you're inevitably going to die, so like typically they'll kind of just kick your ass and you'll just get better at the game as you keep playing it and getting better items to like for future runs.
Yeah. So it definitely seems like a new idea, but there have been some older games with those ideas in mind. So that's cool. It's a neat little historic looking back history lesson looking back at the entirety of gaming. Yeah. All games feel the same now? Well, you're not entirely wrong. That's because you're not playing the indie genres. But when you play like
Seriously though, yeah, like if you want like really cool, like interesting games that you probably wouldn't see anywhere else, like find some good indie games.
right, it is kind of like sad in a way because all these cool, like interesting little neat ideas that we see in the indie stuff that was sort of the standard back with games 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
AAA stuff, but now like ever since the PS3 or like late PS3 and PS4 or PS5, whatever, all games feel the freaking same. That doesn't mean that they're bad. Some of them are bad. But it's just that they're good in their own right, but it just feels like a lot of what we've played for the last 10 years. But good on the indie industry. Well, it's not exactly an industry. Indie's supposed to be not of the industry. They hate the industry. Yeah, I don't know why I phrase it like that. Well, the indie crowd, I think that's the proper word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the indie crowd. Good on the indie crowd for, making games fun again, I guess. What are we doing now? It's what we call in the game industry padding. Yeah, so basically this is a new area we've never visited before, as you can tell with all the clot shot stuff. Basically there's this whole ocean underneath the sand, because this was the place that you can travel back and forth into time with the shift time rather. Yeah, because this place used to be an ocean, but now it's sand. Basically, we found a boat that has a time shift stone on it, and we're basically traveling the waters of the sand. It's funny like that. Traveling the waters of the sand. There you go. Yeah. And now we're trying to find an old pirate ship that was basically. Yeah, I'm tired too, folks. Because on the boat we have made a little robot friend that used to be a pirate back in the heyday, or when he used to be alive. Yeah. So we're trying to find his enemy pirate ship where all the crew used to be. Or no, I think it's like it used to be his ship, then demons took it over or something. I'm not exactly sure. It's been a while. Oh no, the ant. No. Okay, I got it. I saved him by putting him in the prison. So finding the ship, yeah, that would be simple, right? But no, we gotta travel to his old shack because of a sea chart, Wind Waker flashbacks. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I guess we have to travel back to this place so we can get a sea chart and then basically give us more layout of the ocean. Like, don't expect the ocean to be as vast as Wind Waker or as interesting in Wind Waker. It's really not. This place is primarily here just for padding. And I guess interesting level design. I mean, the claw shots are cool, I guess, but like, I'd rather not be doing this. I figured, once you got on the boat, just track down the enemy boat, and then there you go. That's how that works, right? But no, we gotta go find the sea chart, and then we gotta go to some other facility. I used to be at the pirates' hideout just to see if anyone's home. Spoiler alert: nobody's home. We just wasted our time. Then we freaking I don't freaking remember. I don't like this part because I feel like in a lot of other Zelda games, for something structured like this, you just find it like right away. But no, you got to do all this stuff too. Also, another aggravating part about it is like you see all this claw shot level design, right? This looks fun. This looks fun, right? Why is it not in a dungeon? That's also another problem that I have with this game. Is like a lot of the interesting obstacle courses the game has is not in a dungeon, and I don't exactly get that. I suppose it can add more flair to the overworld, but you're never going to be visiting these parts again.
Yeah.
Unless you're a completionist, then you're insane. Because, yeah, I would have much preferred this to be in a dungeon, but it's not. Yes, climb that dead vine. Claw shot. Fuck. Yeah, there's some of the bulbous enemies or whatever. They're not exactly enemies. They're just, you claw shot onto them. Sometimes you have to pull them out of the ground.
Thought they were enemies, and then you grabbed onto it, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no. Like, they're the flying bird dragon enemies that we saw in the Dungeon 4 that are here around. It's kind of weird that they live in 2 different biomes, but whatever. Oh, it's almost as if this might have been Dungeon 4 level design. Oh, maybe that's the reason why. Oh. Yeah, cut that Deku Baba down, because if you just screech at ow, that wouldn't hurt, right? Yeah, the birds are here in the sand biome. Okay. I thought you would have been at least, I don't know, water-based or something, because, or because we were in grassland in the water dungeon. But, no. Was this supposed to be a Dungeon 4 obstacle course? Maybe. No? Oh, I don't know. I'm just putting the pieces together is why I don't want to do this freaking crap anymore. Don't worry. It's halfway through the game, right? So that's still 50%. This was called an F in grade.
Yeah, that's still a failing grade.
Yeah. Come on, I did half the work though, right? Yeah, that's bad. Although, if you want to work at Sonic Team, go right ahead. They'll accept you.
Half is all they get done before release.
Yeah. God, freaking the marketing team.
Yeah.
They're always bad at marketing. Yeah, no. Like I said in the Discord was it yesterday, because Game Informer's doing their equivalent to IGN First Look with the RE4 remake. And I'm like, oh man, I hope this isn't as bad as the Frontiers IGN look. But the key difference being of good marketing versus bad marketing. RE4 remake gets the point. You know why? The very first thing they announced was the release date. And what did Sonic Frontiers do? The very last thing they announced was the release date.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's almost as if they were insecure on whether they could get it done by the end of the year. Well, they got it done. Just, it's only the pop-in. That's it. It's not exactly game-breaking. It does get a little annoying. but it's just popping. Like you've seen that.
It's interesting how nowadays, especially after the pandemic, that like video game releases like the game comes out like a couple months after it's they like say the release date or it's been announced or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. That is weird. Not exactly sure why that is. Movies, on the other hand, oh yeah, we're definitely gonna release it on this day 3 years from now. That is weird. I haven't noticed that before, but I guess you do make a good point.
I mean, I've especially noticed it with like Nintendo games. They'll like announce something or whatever, and then the game releases like 3 months later.
Sometimes. I guess if you want to say they're big releases, those get delayed like a bunch. Like Tears of the Kingdom for a hot topic. That was supposed to come out last year. Now it's gonna come out May of this year. Metroid Prime 4, you ask? Don't ask. That's the answer to that one. Some of the more bigger budget titles, I think they reserve or give us the wrong release date or give us a vague release date rather.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
yeah, with some other stuff, or at least like games like going on to the Nintendo Switch. Yeah, I've definitely noticed stuff like it'll be like, you know, here's a trailer for this thing. It's coming out in like a month or like
yeah, like freaking what was it?
Demo out now, like
oh yeah, no, freaking I remember watching a reaction to like this is an E3 from a long time ago or something like that, but it was a trailer for like a city simulator or whatever, and the guy commented and was like, "Oh my god, these graphics look so bad. I hope this is a beta. The game is available today." Oh no.
Yeah, I saw. I can't remember what it was. There was some kind of game that was like coming out or something like that, and they had like a demo for it. I think on like the like PlayStation or whatever stuff, and like people didn't really like it, and they were like, "Oh well, it's still just a beta, you know. This isn't going to be reflected in the final game." It's like, dude, this comes out in 3 months.
Yeah,
and then it came out, and people didn't like it.
Yeah, that's just no. If like a release window is like so close, you're probably playing the final build.
If the game is so close to when it's actually releasing, like you're basically playing the final game.
Right, you're just getting the early press release because the game industry likes to do that. They like to have like some sort of like, I don't know, resort and for just or like some sort of event for the game journalists so they can just have their 6 hours of playtime or whatever. Yeah, only 6 hours. You wonder why IGN gets shit on because they only have 6 hours with the game, and they have to put the review out the day of.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 game. I didn't finish it, but yeah, 10 out of 10. Yep. Too much water though.
Best game I ever played.
Best game I ever played. Everyone fucking hates it.